Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the iPod Classic and how you should buy one or shouldn't buy one for that matter. Hi guys, welcome to the channel. So, if you can't tell by my voice, I've had a bit of COVID, a bit of that thing. But anyway, thought I'd make my breakfast and I'll talk about the iPod. I bought a 5.5 generation iPod a couple of weeks ago now. And I've got to say, it's a lot better than I expected. So I personally use it for revising, so I'll have it on like while I'm doing my work and stuff. It's a lot better than having a phone because the only distraction you really have is choosing the music, which for the most part I can stop myself from doing unless somehow it comes onto a really terrible song, which I need to remove some of them so I can be more effective. So if you are a student, I would really recommend it. It is worthwhile. So as you can see here, the one that I've got, if you can see here, 30 gigabytes. I don't know if that's going to be back to front or not, but it's 30 gigabytes, which stores plenty of songs if I'm being honest. And the other thing is the songs, you don't have to buy them all from iTunes, which I didn't realise. You can upload CDs. So if you're somebody that's got a lot of CDs, I'd recommend getting one because it's a lot quicker and easier to listen to them than it is putting them in the CD player and trying to switch between them all. The other reason that I bought the 5.5 was by accident because I didn't realise that it actually has the highest sound quality out of all of the iPods, or people say that's their opinion. I think nowadays, I personally can't tell the difference between my phone and the iPod, so it works perfectly fine for me, and I'm using a wired connection as well, so I don't know if that means that it will be slightly better if I use a wired connection for my iPhone. At the moment I have an iPhone 7, if that gives you guys any idea. Also, if you do buy one, I'd recommend getting one with a box, because I think that they'll go up in value by quite a lot, especially over time, and if you use them and you break them, they're quite easy to fix, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you don't have a box, they're obviously going to be worth a lot less than if you have a box. So if you get one without a box, I'd recommend trying to look for a box, or well, just buying one with a box really, because it probably doubles the value of it. Making sure that you have all the individual pieces within that box, because there's a lot of different things that can come with the box. I need to make sure that mine came with anything, because if it didn't, I'll buy some new stuff so that it's complete. I mean, if anything, if you look here, the greatest feature, it spins. It's wicked. I saw it first on, mine also came with a case, but I saw it first on Baby Driver, which is sort of, I think, what got it into my head and sort of got me the idea that I wanted to buy one. So here we have it. As I said, you can see there 30 gigabytes, and it is quite a small device. So in comparison to my phone, it's quite a lot shorter, and as you can see, just want to turn it on, and the useful thing is at the top it's got a lock thing, so if you want to use it or you don't want it to be moved while you're listening. So I've uploaded a bunch of CDs onto this. All of this sort of stuff here, now that's what I call music. I had already owned on iTunes from a while ago. But for example, if you go onto this, and Chelsea Dagger, everybody's favourite. The one thing I will say is it doesn't play out loud. You do not have an external speaker unless you buy one and then connect it to it. That is one thing to think about. However, I think it's sort of a little bit of an advantage because I always find when you play out a speaker of a phone, it's usually not great quality. So if you're always listening in headphones, and that's really realistically what you're using it for. You're using it for a portable music listener. If you want to play it out loud, you'd get a speaker. It's different things for different purposes. But anyway, I will say it's a really great device, and one thing that the 5.5 and onwards has is it has this search feature. So if you are looking for a specific song and you can't find it, then it's a lot easier to find it through this. And all the buttons work really simply, so skip, back, skip forwards, stop, play, menu, and then the select, and then obviously this whole thing acts as a track wheel, or whatever you call it, a spin wheel. Go around, select what you want. One other thing I would mention is that you're able to set a volume limit, which is especially useful if you're usually listening to music way too high like I am, and you always get them notifications on your iPhone saying to turn the volume down. Anyway, so, I mean, I've mentioned a couple of things, but I just really want to point out what the good things and the bad things sort of are. So I'd say, like, first of all, in the good things, is you can upload your CDs and all of this sort of stuff, able to have a large amount of music stored on it. I think it's around, for 30 gigabytes, it's around 7,500 sort of songs that they can recommend that you'll have up to. Also, there's a lot of features on the iPod to make it better. You can sort of deal with the EQ, you can sort of put these volume limits on and all these other things. The way that you can organise through the songs is also great. So you've got albums, artists, obviously all the individual songs as well. So it's really great for that sort of thing. I've also had no technical problems, so the operating system's clearly great on it and it works perfectly for me. I have no issues with it. It does sometimes feel a little bit flimsy, so I'm really careful about how I look after it, especially since I might end up selling it, since I think it'll go up in price, because I think it's a very good investment to get. On the negative side, it is old technology, and if you can store videos on them, it's really low quality, and I wouldn't recommend it because it takes up so much space that's not even worth it. A couple of other things about it. If I'm being honest, for what it is used for, I'd expect the battery to last a lot longer. That might be because it's old, and as I've understood, you can repair things really easily, and I can replace the battery if I want. At the moment, it lasts about 15 hours of sort of continuous music playing, if I'm lucky. However, most of the time it'll be about 10 hours that it'll last. So obviously that either needs changing or I can just deal with it, and I'm not going anywhere listening to music constantly for more than 10 hours really. I mean, England's not that big, the UK is not that big where you need to travel for that long, and if you do, you're in a car. And that brings me on to my next point. I've had it in a mate's car and it hasn't worked in that car just because it's out of date technology. However, it works in my car, which is great news for me. So one thing I would say is there's not always works in the car, and if you can, just find a speaker that you can connect to instead that's sort of portable, if you want. But that is something that would really frustrate me if I had a car and it wasn't able to connect to it, because it is something that's really great to have in the car. So actually just plug it in and then you'll click play. It's a lot less fiddly than setting up Bluetooth and all these sort of things. You plug it in and you can play the music. And one thing is it doesn't like, so when you plug it in, you can't use the sort of screen, so you do need to, I find, either have a song like playing already or whatever, so when it plugs in it does play along, or you need to or when you plug it in you have to skip the song physically for it to start playing, which is the only real technical error I've had, and I think that just might be with the softwares being out of date as well, and that's sort of just the reason. I'm sure there's ways to figure out how to get around this, but it works perfectly fine, and I would really recommend it if you're a student and you're looking to listen to music without having to use your phone where you're going to get all them distractions that you'd usually get. So with that being said, I think it's a great purchase. I think it'll go up in a lot of value, and I think it's worth getting for several reasons, no matter who you are, even if it's just a nostalgia thing, or you've, like me, thought it's really cool and wanted to buy one and then found out that it's got lots of good applications that come along with it.